There is an entire system within each soul. It's kind of like in your human being, you have a lymphatic system, you have your blood system, a circulatory system, you have your energetic, which is not something everyone knows about, but it's also connected to your nerve. So you could call it your nervous system, but the nervous is only about 30% of the entirety of this energetic system. But let's call it the nervous system. So similar to how the human body has these systems, the soul has certain systems. And one of those systems is the ability to hold and maintain creation energy. Now, this is not something that you just get, like a lymphatic system within the human being. It is something that is built. It's like having barren lands, and then you learn to build roads, and you have certain hideout caves to be able to store these things, and you have an entire industry that you build to hold and maintain this. Now, this whole industry that you work on is something that you accomplish from lifetime to lifetime. Each lifetime you can only get a small amount of building towards this system, which is why it is so valuable. So the higher abilities that you have to hold and maintain creation energy is literally your workings over many, many different lifetimes. So you would have to tap into things like wanting to live as close to what you understand a godly life is. Now, there are many religions and there are many ways that this has been imparted for wisdom and knowledge. And there is truth in all of these places. There is truth to understand how to maintain one's spirit, maintain one's mind, in order to create in this invisible system, so to say, because it is within your spirit, it is invisible. It is not something you tangibly see in front of you. So when you spend your entire life using your hands and your mind to do 3D things alone, and you don't hold and maintain this internal workings within these valuable places, you literally waste lives, right? You waste an entire life of pleasure and pain and whatever the case may be. And at the end of the day, the most important things are maintaining this creation energy. Now, the reason I know this is because I have a lot of it. And so a soul can be born into a human being and be fully mature, right? Because the soul is a different system, right? This is also why sometimes when you see a picture of a human being and you're like, that's an old grandpa in that brand new baby boy, you can see it in his face. Like, oh, this again, right? And it's kind of like the soul is very aware and can pop through different humans differently. Different types of humans are easier to hack than others, so they are more soulful. But there's a lot that goes with that, the machines of them and this and that and the other thing. So you also have to understand, you, whoever you are, whatever human being you were born into, that's what your soul desired. That's the same with your gender, because you had specific things that you needed to overcome. So wherever you were born at, whatever you're born in, whatever human suit you got to hang out in, and whoever the portals into this life, which we call caregivers or parents, they are there to show you something about your own infinite journey. And you chose that. It's like, based upon who you are as a soul will be what type of life that you get. So if anyone wants to put up their hands and say it wasn't fair, that's not true. You actually got exactly what you signed up for. Now, it's what you do with it that makes the difference. And that's with everything in life, is what you do with what is given to you. If you are given mud and you make pottery from it, then congratulations. If you have mud and you learn to sift through it and bring out a nugget of gold, congratulations. If you have mud and you learn to smear it all over your face and go ooga booga, or whatever the case may be, then congratulations. There is no somebody did better than somebody else. Somebody is better than someone else. It is just the gifts that you receive on the end of it will either be more treasured, or they will be something that maybe you're not even happy with. And that will just be up to you and your ability to see the truth of all things versus the programming that you received, whether it was culture, the family, social media, politics, whatever the case may be. So you have to understand that we are living in a completely different world than the world that we're living in. By our soul's means. It has a totally different set of standards. It has a totally different set of things that it wants and needs, and then it becomes human so that it can gain more of those things. That's kind of in short what it is. But that's the part of gaining. But you also have to understand human life is also purely to experience certain things. It is purely just here to experience things, because the more that you truly can see and know and experience, the more you can recognize and say, oh, my soul wants more of that. Because until you are aware of something, the connection is made from soul to physical vision and mind in the conscious realm. You don't know it exists. There is so much within inside of your soul that you will probably never even scratch the surface of, because most people are interested to just calm the chaos, right? Most people are just there to, okay, well, let's get as much as we can get done so we can live this life and feel good and go forward, right? And then there are people that are very curious and they want to know more and they get themselves in a little trouble. But, overall, people's maintenance level is, I want to live good in some way, whatever my standards are. But then there are crazy people like myself that push the limits continuously and come against certain things to see how it can be improved. This is called the evolutionarily based being. And then also, the more that you want to improve these things for the bigger population, not just a set group of people, you increase and expand further, because you have to understand as well, if you're only doing things for a set group of people and you end up incarnating in a completely different set group of people, how is that going to help you when you reincarnate? Yeah? It doesn't. What happens if you fall in love with somebody from a different people groups and now your children have no longer access to those things, right? Or if you're exclusive and your brother or your sister decides to become with someone, are you so greedy in yourself that you will just push them away? Well, a lot of people do, because they really love to only be with what they can truly understand and know. But here is the kicker to all of that. What I've just been talking about. Your soul has completely different systems. What happens if you're born in the same family, but you are from literally two different soul groups? First of all. Second of all, what happens if one of your siblings is an ancient soul that was hanging out in the greatest of places with the greatest of human incarnations at the time, godlike beings? And you're a brand new baby soul. You were born like 100 years ago, so you've been like 3 incarnations. You might have human DNA, but your personalities are nowhere near the same. You're so different. Your abilities, you could literally have the same thing in front of you and you are seeing a completely different reality. But your mind, for some reason, believes because you look similar, you will be seeing things the same, so you compare each other to one another. This is about as true as you catching water at a spring and catching water at the depth of the ocean and expecting them to be the same temperature, the same water purity, be able to do the same things. There is literally water that comes out of springs that is highly toxic. There is water at the depths of the ocean that is so cold and so and these things can hurt you. You understand me? So you have to know truly what you're dealing with, and it's the soul. The soul is what comes through the human. So again, the system that you build from lifetime to lifetime, creation energy, it is more apparent in women. When you look at them, you can just know. You look at them and go, aha. You can see it in men too, but it's different. They get more through their ability to use their giftings, and they're like, everyone's like, oh wow, that's that kind of guy. And when they do things, they talk smooth, they walk good, they have good businesses, and you can see it because everything comes to them. It's different for females. They are highly sexual. You will look at them and you will just be like, wow. But then they will also be very learned, very much like myself, also very gorgeous. Now, this is the thing. As the same with the man, as the same with the woman. When we carry a lot of creation energy, we have all the things. We're good at everything. We are fabulous in every way. Now, someone who is a babier soul, they will try and replicate something that someone who has creation energy has. Because in the human form, people get jealous. They're like, oh, well, they have all this stuff, so let me see how I can do it. So they spend an entire lifetime to be good at one thing that we were naturally born with. Now, here's the thing. Those of us who carry large amounts of creation energy through us, we hold it, we maintain it, we can siphon it, we can do whatever we want with it. We're an expensive type of people. We need higher security. We also have been done wrong more than anybody else. We have also had people use us more than anyone else. We have also had so many things that are logically not explainable to the normal human brain happen to us. We constantly have more going on inside our own bodies. Our emotions are constantly fluctuating more. We can sense deeper things. We have deeper meanings to everything. Even eating food has a deeper meaning to it. You just don't eat from just anyone, even if you're really hungry. You just don't do certain things. And when we as deeper souls don't follow this, it is extremely detrimental. But at the same time, you're an infinite soul. So the more that you dive into understanding these things, the better off you will be. But also, those who have more also have more to lose. So if you have become something in some sort of grimy type of nature, which is like the baby souls pretending to be things, and they use physical things to forcibly do people wrong, and they constantly indulge in activities that people who have souls don't indulge in. Like, just ugh. When they indulge in those types of activities, the people that are baby souls will literally bleed them dry, because they just want what they want. And if they can take it from someone, you become their soul sacrifice, so to say. They'll just put you on the table and drain you dry. So those of us who have more creation energy and have a higher value, we literally cannot even be friends with. We cannot even stand to be around family a lot of the time, because these people are baby souls. And they just want our creation energy. It is something that is deeper than the human. It's just something that they fiend for, And then everybody's ability to channel different elements of creation energy is like a different flavor of the creation energy juice, depending on how old your soul is and all of these things. I have spent a millennia making myself who I am. I am very special. I am very fabulous. I hold so much weight when it comes to the spiritual world. And my voice is always listened to. However, it was not always this fabulous, because certain things that had gone on the earthly realms had taken me away from some of the most important things that the soul needs in order to connect to the human properly. It is extremely important that you know that some people are just more expensive, because everybody wants them. Literally, people will meet them and just something inside of them will trigger, and they have to have them. It is harder to be a female like this, because it takes longer to understand the abilities that you have to protect yourself. When you're a baby, all you see is the physical means. When you're around baby souls, all you see is physical means. You don't understand that you're an energetic powerhouse if you have the creation energy, and then how to utilize that. When you're a man, you find that you just make powerful contacts and you do powerful things with powerful people. You're just attracted to those circles, and they're attracted to you. So this can also be a detriment if you don't have proper wisdom, because you will get in the wrong circles and make the wrong commitments with the wrong powerful people. So men and women both have their, problems and issues with understanding this power, holding this power, maintaining this power. And it's literally something that can only be slowly had lifetime after lifetime to create this creation energy. You can only do it by living in this realm. And every lifetime you get a little speck. And if you worked harder in the lifetime, then you get more than a little speck. So there is humans that are born differently, yes. But you also have to understand there's a lot more pain that those of us who we don't remember that we are highly powerful. We just look and see that we're human. We look in the mirror and we see that we look like you in an essence. Like how, you know? And then normally the babier souls will always come with a programming of, well, you're no better than me. And they'll make you feel bad for the things you have, like the gift of beauty, the gift of gab. Well, you're good at everything. And they make you feel so bad for being so great that you start to dismantle your own self. And this is why those of us who are extra special literally cannot be around babyer souls. We cannot be around people who do not understand the pains of being extremely wealthy within the soul and then also on the outside. Because there are wealthy souls that have chosen to remain broken in this lifetime because it's easier for them to maintain what goes in my hand goes in my mouth, and then I get rid of that and I get something else in my hand, and then that's it, and nobody can look at me and say that I'm fabulous. But you all know that those people are targeted still. But it is different. Yes, it is different. So those people have more abilities to take from people like myself because they are spiritually gifted, but they like their brokenness. So they want to see how much they can take from someone else instead of earning it for themselves. And this is why being around other powerful people, you have to be careful to know how much have they learned to express themselves. And then how much have they suppressed of their own abilities because of their own pains and because of the own things they've gone through, and they believed the baby souls around them that they shouldn't be so great and they shouldn't be so beautiful or so handsome or so sexual or whatever the case may be. And then they find another wealthy soul, they recognize it, and they say, oh, well, they put it out and they're jealous of them. So you really need to understand who is in your surroundings, who is in your circle, and to have two extremely wealthy people come together, it is one of the most expensive things that there is to truly have love of two highly expensive souls, highly powerful souls, highly creation energy rich souls who have also done the work to allow that creation energy to come through however it's meant to come through. Because we all come from a different way of pulling the creation energy through as well. That's where the different flavors come in. So let me wrap this up now. So you have to understand that the creation energy will look very different than what you've understood power to be. Because that's a part of the way this world works as well, is they give you a lot of wrong definitions of things so that you chase after something that isn't actually the truth. And then you neglect your own power for what you see in front of you. And this is just touching the surface of the difficulty of understanding who you are, owning that, and allowing the creation energy to come through. So the world actually prefers to see more people who have the creation energy broken, meaning they can't live more than, get, use, and then just, that's it, get and use, instead of maintaining, holding standards and abilities. And this is great for the leeching type of energies that have made its way to this planet. And they, of course, also incarnate in the human body. But when they incarnate in the human body, they take on these energies of not just taking the creation energy, but they're highly elusive in how they go about holding down people and not giving them their own creation energy. And that goes into a whole nother system in a whole nother way. But anyways, I hope that helped you understand a little bit more about why some people are just naturally, oh my gosh, like you look at them and there's just everything about them you just find fascinating. And yet they're just another human being. But they're not. Their soul is something extremely fascinating and extremely powerful and extremely well-versed in living human life. Now, their physical attributes will tell you, have they accepted that or have they denied themselves? Are they kind? Are they soft? Are they hard? Are they rough? These are all things that will help you know, are they a true reflection of their insides? And that will tell you if they are safe to be around or not. Transparency is huge. It's huge. I'm always transparent with everyone. I always give everyone warnings of what is about to happen. I'm letting you know I do not take this behavior. I will be coming against it. And then there's no surprises. There's no surprises. And then the people who have goodness within them and do wrong things, I say you can't do that. And they go, okay. And then they move in a better direction. And then I can stay in contact with them. Well, most people are just whatever they feel like being. Which is why security is really important and why the usage of power is really important. If everyone believed everything that a transparent being said, there would be no need for any sort of oppression. You have to understand, it is really, really important to listen. Listen to yourself first, then you will understand what people are saying when they talk in front of you. It is very important. Listen. Actually listen.